to be any tobacco in North America. The tobacco in North America was actually brought here by European settlers who brought it up from South America. The first tobacco plants grown in North America were grown at the Jamestown, the very same Jamestown that our ancestors first settled at, the very first permanently lived in settlement, and it was in the middle of a very bad place to go. So, this is where the story of Pocahontas starts, of course. That very same man coming through with his tobacco seeds. By the time John showed up with his tobacco seeds, 9 out of 10 of the Jamestown settlers were already dead. Instead of bringing important agricultural equipment, these people have decided that they were going to bring a bunch of gold testing equipment. Boy, oh boy, is that smart. Between your feeding yourself and finding some gold that you're going to starve to death looking for, well done. Americans, going all the way back to the beginning, are not exactly known for being intelligent. So, of course, I was watching this show on Chesapeake, Virginia. Some of you may know that's where my issues started as far as the Natalie problem went. Moral of the story is, don't be good to people. Natalie Bollinger was not good to me. She was good to her predators. She was good to Tim Beeson. She was good to Ted Bollinger. These people who raped her, who molested her, who forced her to sell drugs. And you guys punish me over a false narrative. You don't care if it's fucking true. You want it to be true so that it justifies your sins against me. Well, that doesn't stop me from speaking up. You see, the longer it goes, the longer it takes for people to actually come forward and speak up, the more abuse I have to take. There is a reason that I fight. I fight for human rights. I don't decide who's human based on their skin color. So we got dumbasses like Donald Trump. Any of you who support Nazism, you are my enemy. Keep that in mind. If you want to worship Trump, Trump is a goddamn liar who has no fucking idea what reality is. The guy got lucky enough to have a daddy that gave him $1 million loan at 18, and the dumb cunt wants to pretend that it's got nothing to do with luck. Shit, bitch. That motherfucker spent his entire life ripping people off, and we got a bunch of Nazis in this country who think he's great. This is why we have the Second Amendment, people. It's got nothing to do with right or wrong. It's got to do with popularity, and popularity comes from looks and money. Obviously, Donald Trump does not have good looks. What he does have, however, is money. And with money, you can buy gold diggers. With money, you can buy yourself an Ivanka. Right now, I'm getting advertisements trying to sell me Ukrainian women. Have you ever thought of dating a Ukrainian woman? You know, Ukrainian women are this, and this. Well, really? You're gonna sell me modern marvels, huh? These Ukrainian women are somehow all magically the same? You know, that sounds like some Hitler-ass shit right there. Sure, the guy had a good idea. If we're all the same, we got no reason to kill each other. But look at what he did and how he tried to implement it. Oh, if we're all blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Yes, that'll make a difference. We'll just get rid of all the ones that don't have blonde hair and blue eyes. Because we're smart. We're Germans. Meanwhile, you guys don't want to take into account the fact that most of what we consider German technology absolutely is not. The best fighter plane designs in World War I, who did they come from? Anthony Fokker. Where was Anthony Fokker from? Not Germany. Less than 30% of what they worked with in World War I was actually designed by Germans. In World War II, it was even less. Now, it's pretty obvious people are not going to actually help. They've got their own lives, and unfortunately, them not helping me makes it so that I can't help them. And unfortunately, at the things I'm good at, I am better than anybody else that I know. That doesn't mean that I am the greatest out there. Not even close. Could I make America great again? America never was great. So no, that's not possible. The Constitution, that's great, but it's not observed by Donald Trump. It's not observed by anybody in our current government. So why are we still pushing that shit? Oh yeah, because we got to dupe a bunch of stupid little kids into going and killing foreigners for us. We'll call them soldiers and tell them they're doing the right thing. You're doing the honorable thing by going and killing foreigners for our rich assholes here in the U.S. Well done. Ugh. They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. With Matty Boa. You spread those rumors and got all this shit started. You know, Natalie and Alicia Bollinger, I'd already blocked them. And I'd already blocked Matty Boa. I was done with them. Didn't want to have anything more to do with them or their junky ways. But it didn't matter, did it? No, it didn't. What mattered is that a junkie was fucking embarrassed. And we can't be having that, especially if she's pretty. Oh, poor her. She destroys an innocent man's life because she's embarrassed. And then she plays victim, and it's magically all okay. Well, fuck all of you. It's kind of like Brandon Ratner after being a punk-ass little bitch, not coming forward, not keeping his word. Wanted to fucking rip my ass like I'd done something wrong. No, I didn't. Telling the truth is not a wrong thing to do. See, where these people screwed up was by not coming forward. If you're gonna fucking tell me something that I'm making decisions based off your information better be fucking correct. That's first of all, and second of all, if you're too cowardly to admit that I got that information from you, Or you're playing fucking head games and I'm coming after you. Now, I said loud and clear that I'm trying to put these people in prison. I think that is a worthwhile pursuit. You can either admit that you fucked up or you can go to prison. I'm not going to stop fighting the right thing to be done, no matter how much of a coward Brandon Ratner is, no matter how much of a coward Kayla Trujillo is, no matter how much of a coward Terry Hicks is. Fact is, I didn't make them cowards. I'm not going to pretend that I made them cowards. And I am not for one moment going to pretend that the things that have happened to me as a result of their stupidity are choices that I made. If a man rapes your daughter, are you going to blame your daughter? You're going to tell her she just needs to woman up? You're going to tell her that she should just be happy that she got laid? Because that's what you tell men. That's how you treat males. There are so many males out there that were sexually abused by women that never came forward. You can hear, of course, Zach Richmond talking about when he was sexually assaulted by his babysitter. I want you to think about that there for a moment. He was young enough to need a babysitter. And what did she do? She took advantage of him, an underage boy. Now he's a grown-ass adult. I wonder how many people he told about that woman who had sexually assaulted him before I recorded it and put it on YouTube. Woo! To try to make you go to rehab, but you say no, no, no. Meanwhile, I don't hate these people. I hate what they've done. Also, just so you know, a couple of meth heads stopped by my car last night, asked me about my canoe or my kayak on top of my vehicle. And when I told them I didn't want meth, I didn't mess with meth or any of that, they gave me $2 for coffee this morning. You know what's funny about that? Do what?
Are you mobile hand?
No, sir.
What next time?
I would like a cup of coffee, 15 sugars, 15 creamers.
Cup of coffee, what size?
Large.
You said 2 sugars?
15 of each.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
No, sir, that'd be all. Thank you.
No, that's good, okay.
Yes, sir. They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no. Thanks, sir. I am thankful for the lady and the dog who gets me my coffee. Can I get your coffee? You rock. Thanks very much. Yes, ma'am. They got a Thanksgiving sign on their window. And I went, you know, what am I thankful for? The lady who's handed me my coffee. She has handed me my coffee on multiple occasions, is always pleasant about it. And if she's the one who's paying attention to the cameras, she's usually got my coffee already ready already. which is nice. Now my voice sounds a little bit different today because did me some shouting and some hooting and some hollering and some not being fucking happy. They forgot about Kill Native Day in Fred Meyer's, of course. They went from Halloween to Thanksgiving. Nope, there is no Thanksgiving section. No turkeys, no nothing. We took the idea of Thanksgiving and turned it into something else entirely. See, the idea behind Thanksgiving is being thankful. Being thankful for the people of the Jamestown colony that didn't starve to death. Why didn't they starve to death? Because of Native American intervention. But then what do we call it? We call it Slaughter a Native Day. And why do we call it that? Because that's what we did. Isn't that right? We, as in you and I, we went back in time and committed those horrible atrocities, didn't we? That's right. Everybody must have a magic time machine for us to be, of course, held accountable for the things that our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-great-grandparents. Man, I gotta tell you, this whole the sins of the father will be revisited upon the son thing is for the birds. It takes away any accountability or personal responsibility, and it dehumanizes people who didn't do anything wrong. You want to blame white people because your ancestors were slaves. Well, guess what? There are plenty of white people whose ancestors were fucking slaves too. You want to go back through history and ignore literally thousands of years of slavery. Literally thousands of years of Africans enslaving Africans. We've got evidence of slavery in Africa going back nearly 7,000 years. 7,000 years. But then, of course, those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. And those who want to sell false narratives get innocent people killed. We've taught black people that no matter what happens to them, it must be because they're black. Oh, you got busted selling fucking crack. You must have been targeted because you're black. No, you was targeted because you were selling crack, bitch. Now, when the cops decided that they didn't like you, and they started harassing your little brother, whose only dream was to go to fucking college and try to fucking make the world a better place. But you, being a dumbass older brother, not being able to stay off the drugs, you want to claim that it's because you black. And then your brother, who's getting harassed by the cops because you're a fucking douchebag, he's got it in his head that he's being victimized because he's black. No, the reality is you being harassed because you're a fucking drug dealer. He's being harassed because you got a family name. But a family name ain't the same as being, well, attacked because of the color of your skin. Miss Jerry Sparks tried pretending that her family name in Sydney, Nebraska was the same as being a black person. Like hell it is. Miss Jerry was young and pretty. Yes, that trumps your last name every time. I'm going over to the next parking lot to see if there's any tobaccos I could roll into a cigarette. I don't know what the fuck I'm allergic to here. Whatever it is, it's driving me fucking bonkers. And it's usually right after the rains, so I'm fairly certain that it's tree allergy motivated. This does not seem to be a flowering point in the year, so it would not be flowering plants that are the issue. Or, I shouldn't say flowering plants, because some people would consider a pine cone a flower. But a lot of people, when they think of flowers, they don't think of the flowers on trees, unless you're in Japan, where you have cherry blossoms that are, well, historically and culturally significant. Man, those seagulls are really at it today. Try to make me go to rehab, I said, no, no, no. They try to make me go to rehab, I said, I won't go. That's one of the most messed up things there, having junkies tell me I should go to rehab when I asked them to fucking call off the dogs. I didn't start off asking people to kill me. I started off asking them to tell the truth, because I was being abused for shit that didn't happen, because junkies wanted to hide the fact that they're fucking junkies. Why did Maddie Boa plan the trip with me to Virginia and then play it off later like I was some sort of a monster? Why is it that she planned the trip with me and didn't end up going? That one's pretty easy to answer. She got busted selling meth. Her girlfriend at the time, Mackenzie Chapman, decided that she was done with Maddie Boa because Mackenzie was not a lesbian like Maddie. Mackenzie is bisexual. She also ended up being one of the predators that I had to deal with after Natalie's death. If you don't do it a woman once, her and her friends will gang up on you and destroy your life, and nobody gives a shit. They try to make me go to rehab. I said, I won't go. We all know there's the right thing to do, don't we? We don't always know what the right thing to do is. People made bad decisions based on an unwillingness to listen to Sean Schwartz, an unwillingness to look at evidence, an unwillingness to shut up about themselves. Talking about yourself nonstop doesn't help anybody. Oh, the cigarette store here is hiring. If I could stand people, that might be a good job for me. I love people, but I don't fucking like them. Human beings are a plague on this planet. They destroy everything and call it progress. They take from the poor and give to the rich and call it improvement. Well, I don't see how any of this is an improvement over living off in the woods, being allowed to start a fire to keep yourself warm. I don't see how this is an improvement. I don't see how having to spend 3 to 5 hours a day taking care of yourself is thrown away because governments want us to work 8 hours a day for jack shit, and they want us to do it every day. They want to make all of our jobs harder and give us nothing for our efforts. Whew. When it comes to the drug addicts who pretended to be my friends, you know, if they don't want to be my friends, that's fine. But it's not fine for them to help murderers and rapists get away. And as a result, pursuit is the most important thing I can do. Pursue charges. Pursue prison time for these assholes. Pursuit. Yes, sir. Oh. All right. These guys treat us pretty decent here, so even though they don't have a bunch of great, wonderful stuff all the time, they do treat me good. They talk to me good, and I don't mind picking up some of the trash.
Whoa.
Oh, you all right, sir?
Yeah. One thing I've learned to do at my age is learn how to fall.
Yes, sir. One moment. You forgot your cigarette. Your cigarette.
I don't smoke.
Oh.
Oh yeah, my vape pen. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I tried to lose that yesterday too.
Right. I'm just glad he recovered.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice landing, man. I hit and rolled on my back.
You're welcome. That's kind of something I did not want to record on my YouTube channel. Me being nice to people. But you know how life goes. Sometimes you are in a hurry. Sometimes you slip on a patch of ice. Sometimes you're looking at your phone when you step into a curb. You never know. He did go down though. Oh. All right. Anyway, when it comes down to it, it was police not wanting to do their job for a disabled adult that resulted in Natalie's death. But it wasn't just police officers who didn't want to take a report from a homeless adult male. You know, I had people like Joanna Taylor Smith who wanted to pretend like she was going to help me. It's the most aggravating. You offer to help me, but you have no idea what help I need. When I tell you what help I need, you want to fucking argue with me like I'm a retard. I should have never told you I was autistic. Never should have let you know that. Because at least you listened before you got it in your head that I must be some sort of a fucking retard with his wires crossed. Obviously, well, you guys wanted to claim I was slandering them. Rose M. Kelly, Danica Garner, Rochelle Shelley Campbell, These women verified what I had to say about Ted Bollinger. Out of the three of them, the only one I actually like is Rose. And I don't have any good reason for actually liking the lady. Except that, well, she didn't pull the same bullshit as Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Danica Garner. Not on the same level, anyway. But you notice, although Alicia Bollinger is the one who did me wrong, I never got to face her in court. I have seen her once. Since I left Virginia, and that was in court. And it wasn't my court date, it was Joseph Michael Lopez's court date. Those of you who are recorded on my YouTube channel, admitting to the things that you should have come forward with in court, you got two choices now. You can either fight for my rights, or I can take yours away. And I don't mind doing that. I don't mind putting you through the things that you put me through. I don't mind putting you through the things you put my sister through. I don't mind putting you through the things you put my niece through. I don't mind putting you through those things. If I have to hurt you permanently to stop you from hurting people, then by God, let it be done. You notice that my techniques don't often involve violence. When Jamie got punched in the head, what did I do? Tried to find somebody to help me to turn it in so that I wouldn't get treated the way that, of course, I ended up getting treated anyway. God bless America, right? Y'all about as bright as a box of rocks in the shade with the lid closed. And that ain't my fault, but goddamn, you guys like blaming me for it, don't you? The evidence shows I was the one that was stalked. Not only was I the one stalked, but I was stalked by multiple assailants before Natalie was killed. I talked to Joanna Taylor Smith about it. Oh, sorry, I tried. She was too busy being a pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl who was fucking pampered as shit. When Janine Barrett and 6 other individuals, mind you, these are the only people down in that area at that point in time that were not selling meth. And that includes Natalie Bollinger, by the way. Natalie and her sister were selling meth and heroin and pot. The cops went through, they ignored all of the people dealing meth. They arrested the only people there that were just messing with pot. And then they tried painting Janine Barrett as some sort of drug kingpin. Lovely. Don't tell me about the Second Amendment if you're not exercising it. If you're not pointing your firearms back at the government, then you're doing it wrong. Maybe you should look up the Second Amendment, not on Wikipedia, but read the amendment itself. No, I don't own any guns. Yes, I have ammunition, sort of. This is a shell from a .223. It's an empty casing. There's no bullet in it. There's no powder in it. I found her on the side of the road. This one right here is lead. Can anybody guess what powder or what caliber that is? Can I turn those into projectiles that I could potentially kill people with? Well, yeah, anybody's capable. Shit, smash this flat with a hammer, scrape it against the concrete till it's got a sharp point, you got yourself an arrow tip. That chunk of lead, shit, put it in a slingshot. It'll do some goddamn damage. It's a fucking solid chunk of lead. When it comes to the Second Amendment, it does refer specifically to firearms, but the point there isn't that it's only guns that you're allowed to defend yourself with. Shit, somebody comes breaking into your house and all you got is a fucking sword. He comes through the door with a gun and you're standing next to the door, you can take his arms off. Wasn't done with a gun. Second Amendment says we have the right to firearms. What does it say about swords? Depends on where you're at. Between swords and guns, though, I like guns better. Do you know why? Because it takes a long time training with the sword to get good at it. Some people are going to be better at it than others. But you know what? Anybody can pull the trigger on a Colt 45. Anybody. Well, nearly anybody. You got a 98-pound woman, and she's got a 300-pound man coming after her. Yeah, that Colt 45 makes her equal. God made all men, and Samuel Colt made them equal. There's a lot of people out here on the streets, and many of them have their hearts in the right places. Many of them also don't. They'll tell you they'll help you because they want something. They're in a desperate situation of their own, and once they get what they want, they're gone. I would have rather gone to family and gotten actual help, but my family wasn't going to actually help. That's not what they do. My family rips each other off for positioning. Now, I may be the odd man out, but I'm also the only one who doesn't either molest kids or sell drugs. Guess how many times I've sold marijuana in my lifetime? It's never happened. Guess how many times I've sold crack or methamphetamines or even Tylenol? It's never happened. Never. There's a lot of people who wanted to get a hold of me after I left Virginia. One of them was Case Layton Morris. We got Sean back. No, we didn't. That didn't last very long because right after he said that, I had gotten to Boulder and was being fucking threatened, harassed, and intimidated by people in Boulder. Getting shoved and told, I heard what you did to that girl in Virginia. Really? What did I did? Tell me what I did. And who did you hear it from? My old brother telling me, oh, my friend said blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck what your friend said. Cite your sources, bitch. You gonna tell me that your friends? Which ones? Because see, here's the thing. If Todd Ryan Case is one of those friends, maybe you should find out about him beating on his woman. Maybe you should ask about the actual situation. Maybe you should look at actual evidence. Maybe you should listen to the conversations recorded with myself and other witnesses in the situation. Maybe it's Desiree. Of course, if it is Desiree, then Eric's getting his meth from her. Desiree's not able to quit. She's not going to quit. The last conversation I had with her, it's recorded on my YouTube channel, and she's fucked up on mushrooms. And of course, she admits to it. So if that's the friend, well, here's the thing. Just like the rest of these cowards, Eric Christopher Schwartz, my older brother, is absolutely a coward. Cite your sources, bitch. What did they say and who said it? And where the fuck is your proof, bitch? See, I got proof that my older brother went to my grandma's funeral. I got recorded conversations with other witnesses, including my little sister, about the situation. When my brother was so fucked up on meth, and then he goes to my grandma's funeral and has to come down, my mom wasn't going to go talk to him. She's too much of a coward. She had me do it. Boy, oh boy, are these people lucky I'm not a coward. I stand up to predators. What do? You say you're sorry. I don't need to hear about how fucking sorry and pathetic you are. That's your choice. You goddamn right you're sorry. That, at least, we can agree on. I needed help turning in my predators. And not once through any of this did anyone actually help with that. That's pathetic. When you know a man is being victimized for something that he didn't do. When you know that there is a false narrative being sold. You can show yourself to be a decent excuse for a human being, or you can be a Laura Nelson, or a Brandon Ratner, or a Brenda Dickinson, or a Brandy Herb. Y'all are dumb. Those of you want to say, oh, Sean, you're abusive, you're calling us dumb. No, I'm stating a fact. And I'm not talking dumb as in you don't have the ability to speak. I am talking about unintelligent, unthinking primates. Here's the thing about people with Asperger's. We may not be superior in every single way, but our minds are far superior to any of yours. But you guys hate anyone who's different. Anyone who is different must be wrong, must be bad, must be punished. You know, we got people who want to worship the Spartans who hate homosexuals. Meanwhile, Spartans were homosexuals. Spartan males in specific were mandatory to be homosexuals. If you don't understand the concept, look up the Sacred Band of Thebes. And we got all these people who hate homosexuals and they want to glorify the Spartans. Spartans were slave owners. They were tyrants. They were evil. They lived by the belief that might makes right. How very American of them. Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. Those who know their history are cursed to see idiots who don't know their history repeat it for all of us. We talk about how horrible the Nazis were in World War II. We don't pay any attention to the British Empire at that point in time, or the British Empire during World War I, or the Boer Wars. The fact is, the British are some of the most evil pieces of shit who are ever on this planet. When it comes to cruelty towards their soldiers, towards their people, there are very few countries that exist in modern times that have as horrible a history as England does. The Crusades were not the start of English cruelty or domination. Now, sure, it wasn't until Lord Nelson's days that the British Navy was really super well known caliber, but prior to that, the British still held superiority of the seas. Now, just because the Nazis were bad people and we stopped them doesn't mean that we're good people. World War I and World War II were both fought for the same reason. And that reason is colonies. Colonies, folks. In specific, British and French colonies all over the world. Domination over predominantly dark-skinned individuals. Places like India, Australia, Africa. The British owned a lot of countries that were full of colored people. Is that why Hitler went to war with Great Britain? No, that's why Britain went to war with Germany. We want to pretend it's over Poland, or we want to pretend it's over Austria, or pretend it's over Belgium, but really, the outcome was decided before the war even started. It came down to numbers. And I'm not talking about the book in the Bible, I'm talking about statistics. I'm talking about production. I'm talking about population size. If you got a population size of 500,000 people, you're probably not going to have a 1,000,000-man army. You guys don't want to use your brains. You don't want to put 2 and 2 together. You just want to blame the victims or look away. On the bright side, I stood up to these predators. Them being my friends previously does not justify the crimes that they committed. Just because you and I were friends back in 2016 doesn't mean the things that you did in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2001, and 2022 doesn't make those things okay. So fuck off. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind. Oh yeah, and for fucking shit's sake, would you stop suggesting killing people as a solution to this? I assure you, if killing people was the answer, I'd have done it already. I assure you, if killing people was the only way to keep my little sister and my niece safe, it would have been done. I don't have it in me to kill people. I certainly don't have it in me to murder people, but god damn it, I can't just allow this stuff to happen like you guys do. You say I'm a horrible person for speaking up, that I'm not thinking about others. No, these people weren't thinking about others. I had to think about Candace Bondurant's kids. She used her children to manipulate that situation. Meanwhile, her kids didn't do anything wrong. Candace Bondurant's the one that fucked up. Same thing with Leslie Snell. You want to hide behind your kids? That just shows what a cowardly, fucked up piece of shit you are. You take advantage of a disabled person and then you say, oh, my kids, my kids, my kids. No. You committed a felony, you dumb cunt. Your kids didn't commit that fucking felony, you stupid snatch. Merry Christmas.